This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
And there it is, that's as good as it gets on this stage. Nissan Townstar EV strikes again. It's an unstoppable van, unstoppable.
Just fantastic. You can actually see the Pro Pilot technology in action. Effortless parallel parking.
It moves with all the confidence that comes with a 5-year warranty.
And with a bench full of all-star van experts, there's real strength in depth here.
That's all-star quality.
Search Nissan Townstar EV and visit your local all-star van centre to see for yourself.
Terms and conditions apply. 5 years or 100,000 miles, whichever comes first.
Pro Pilot is an advanced driver assist technology. Driver's responsibility to stay alert, drive safely, and control vehicle at all times.
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. So we don't just do offers, we do golden offers like this.
MGM Millions, our supersized jackpot where right now you could win over £21 million.
Get ready for the golden era in online casino. BetMGM, it's showtime.
Minimum 10p game stake. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of The Away End. I am Craig Courtney, and I'm this evening joined by Barry Worthington from the Progress with Unity podcast, which for Wigan Athletic fans is for your good selves. So thank you, Barry, first of all, for joining us to tell us a little bit about yourselves. And I'm intrigued about the name. I'm guessing this was when you had your issues and hassles. Maybe it came about then, but tell us how you came about it.
Yeah, well, no, to start with the name, Progress with Unity. Wigan, town motto used to be ancient and loyal. But as we've progressed through the years, they changed it to Progress with Unity. So when I was thinking of a name for the podcast, I just thought, well, that's very suitable. I mean, we've been running over 10 years now, so it's a long-established podcast. So it was before we had our problems that the name cropped up. But yeah, so Progress with Unity. So that's where the name comes from. Very, very supportive of the club, because it's done out of the love for the club, because it means a lot. Wigan Athletic, very much community-based, and always love the club, but critical when we need to be. So that's what we are, we're like a critical friend. I think that might be one way of describing it. So not too much. I mean, every club goes through issues on the pitch, don't they, where they don't play the way you want them to play, they're picking the wrong players. I think that's all part of it, but what we tend to do as well is try and keep our eye on what's going on off the pitch, and obviously with what's happened over the past 4 or 5 years with us, it's quite the thing to do. So as well, it's the right thing to do. So yeah, so that's what the podcast is about. We try to keep it like go out twice a week, Sundays and Wednesdays, reviews and reaction, and we like to get players on to do an interview with them as well. And I'll just say, my wife's passed me a bit of cheese. I'm addicted to cheese, so it's going in.
So I mean, we've Tilton Talk 14th season now. This is of ourselves, so similar time frames, but and very also similar in terms of, like you say, there keeping abreast of what's going on around the areas. So during COVID, we had the players start joining us, ex-players. So we had some phenomenal names join us just to give an hour of their time where they talked about their time at the club, but also what they were into, after leaving. So, some names like Robbie Savage, for example, joined us. We've had Barry Fry as an ex-manager. We've had Lee Clark as well join. And actually, looking at the some of the list of players that have represented both clubs, which we'll come on to, there's a fair few of those that have also been on the show. So I'll cover those off in a wee while. So last season, 12th position, I believe you finished in the league. What were your expectations, and going into this season, what are your expectations now?
I'll just say last season was probably the most enjoyable season in a long time, because it's one of the only seasons we weren't involved in either a relegation dogfight or a scrap up at the top end to get promotion. So there was absolutely no hassle whatsoever. We started on -8. I think if we hadn't started on -8, we'd have definitely been pushing for the playoffs. Some of our performances reflected the fact that we were too far off, and one thing and another. But it was a case of just going to the football, knowing we're not going to get relegated and we're not going to get promoted. So it was enjoyable. And you were going to watch the football, to meet your mates, take the family with you, and just enjoy it. And that's exactly how it turned out, how the season transpired. We won some games we thought we'd lose. We lost some games we thought we'd win. But nobody got worked up about any of it. It was just a really, really nice feeling last year, especially after what we'd come through with the owners, and the fact that we was only 12 hours from going out of existence. This in June 2003, we were 12 hours from going out of existence. So it was mighty relieved to be there. This season, same again, really. I mean, one thing we've learned, because we've been through it twice with administration, and then what happened with with the group who saved us from administration but put us into dire financial stresses. We're not too concerned about throwing money at it, right? They said our new owner is a billionaire from Wigan. Now, there's only one of them. They're not, they definitely do not grow on trees. And he said he's not going to pump all his money in. The club has to sustain itself. And it's music to our ears. And what we started to do now, we're playing local lads coming through the academy. I mean, last season, with the second youngest squad in League One, just behind Peterborough. This season, I'm not sure if we're the youngest or we're definitely in the top two again. We've got loads of kids coming through. Yeah. We just sold Charlie Hughes to Hull City. It was confirmed last night that he's gone. He's been with us since he was 13. Lives in Goulburn, which is a 4 mile outside the town centre. So that's how close he is. And I think the fee somewhere around 7 or 8 million quid, and that's going to, go into the coffers and help support the club over the next few years. But we're so proud that he's come through the ranks, and he was in the team at 18, playing like a seasoned 28-year-old centre half. Absolutely top class. So it's just great to see, and it fills your heart with joy. And I forgot what question you asked me now, to be honest. Got carried away.
How do you think the season's going to go? But before we go on to that, I mean, you mentioned their players and seeing them coming through the ranks. It's very similar to what we see in Birmingham over the past couple of seasons. We haven't really had the money to go and spend. This season is the first time that we've really had a situation where the owners are putting up and then allowing us to go out and get players in. But prior to that, we have people like Jordan James, who has just moved to Club Reims. So he's moved on within the past couple of days. And of course, who can forget the New England wonder kid in Jude Bellingham and what he did for our club, and his brother as well. I know he went to Sunderland, but at the end of the day, their family kept us afloat. So you know exactly where you're coming from. And I think I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll come on to the season prediction at the same time as we do the game prediction, because it tends to go hand in hand around how we all feel. But I mean, I've looked back over the record of Birmingham's games. Not pleasant reading against your good selves, to be honest. In the past 5, we haven't won one. So we've actually lost 3 of them and drew 2. The last time we played at your ground, I was actually there. We were expecting to go and get a win. We had Bakuna scoring a screamer of a free kick, and then you ploughed on and really fought like we should have done ultimately on the day, and gained that equaliser, and in fact came very close to winning the game. So it was a good day out, and it's the only ground that I've been to where you can go to a bar that's directly underneath the stand and there's never any hassles. It was well cool. We really enjoyed it. So we last faced each other back in March 2023, which I think was actually that game. It was in the Championship. We drew 1-1, as I mentioned. We go into a totally different scenario this season. Us coming into it off the back of the relegation from the Championship, the reset button, we hope, is well and truly hit. I obviously on the back of a really good transfer window so far as well. And who knows, might be close to a few other signings as the window gets closer. So it's been good so far. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and some phenomenal players coming through the door. But I like the fact that you guys have stuck to the local lads, because we've also got some great youngsters coming through. Brandon Keeler being one of them. He's really stood out during the pre-season. Scored his first goal on his first proper start as well in the League Cup against Charlton. So, and what a screamer that was. I hope he can come up with a few more of those. And we've got a few others that are sitting in the wings ready to come through. So I think it'll be a good game. Obviously at St Andrews, another big crowd. We've got 18,000 season ticket holders, so you're guaranteed to see that in there. And there's always a good following from Wigan. So I'm expecting a crowd in excess of 20,000 again, which would be is great, and the atmosphere builds. And also, it'll be the first game when our fan parks are open at St Andrews. So, it'll be good from that front. Whole new section at the front of the Cop. So if you've been to St Andrews before, the changes are going to be dramatic from when you were there before. So
yeah, anyway, 1978.
Wow, definitely changed since then. But yeah, we'll have an amphitheatre section in the Cop car park leading up to where the club shop is. That will also be for the away supporters club. There's only as well, there'll be a bar there for them. We've got a new bar called Box to Box, which is underneath the Cop, which is just phenomenal. And like I mentioned, the fan park will be open at the rear of the Tilton Road and main stand as well for the first time. So it's going to be a real good day and a good event. And yeah, you'll really see the differences. And let's not forget, you can come to St Andrews and see a screen at either end of the stadium now as well. So what else can you ask for?
Yeah, sounds good.
So talking of the clubs, and we've had a real, I think, a big history between ourselves. Actually, it's one of you're one of the clubs that we've really played well against, or then had the poor set of results. But also, we've transferred a lot of players between each other.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is just, first of all, see if you can name 5 players that have represented both clubs. And then I'll tick them off against the list that I've got, and then we'll see if there's any further ones that really shout and scream. But what I will say is there's some phenomenal names.
Yeah, and I'll remind me, but there is a piece of our history that you may not be aware of that involves a massive piece that involves Birmingham City. You may not be aware of it, but I'll do the players first. Kevin Langley.
I've got to challenge you first of all, because I think I might know this.
Go on.
Were Birmingham the team that were responsible for getting Wigan into the Football League by giving the founding vote, I believe?
Yeah, well, we played in the FA Cup that year. I think it was 7th of January 1978. It was our last year as a non-league club. And you battered us. 2 goals from Trevor Francis, 2 from Keith Birchin. And I've never seen a player live anywhere near the quality of Trevor Francis. I've never seen one since. What a phenomenon he was. Absolutely. It was a pleasure to watch him. But Sir Alf Ramsey, who was your manager at the time, was that impressed with us as a club. He said he'd canvass on our behalf at the AGM, because in them days, you had to be voted into the league. And we went head-to-head with Rochdale, Halifax, York City, and Southport. And we tied with Southport on 22 votes each. And Ramsey went round and canvassed on our behalf, and we won the re-vote. And that got us into the Football League. So, I think we played in a friendly as well during that summer as we were preparing for. Well, we did. I know we played in a friendly, preparing for the Football League. So that's a massive. I always say every time I meet a Birmingham fan, I always say thank you for that.
Oh, well, it's one of those things that I can honestly say. You've mentioned Trevor Francis, and God bless his soul, but he's I never had the privilege of seeing him play, but I did as a manager, and how much passion he put towards the club.
Yeah.
And in fact, some of the players that we will no doubt go through are there under Trevor as well. So yeah, take through to the players then that you've got.
Okay. The first one I'll mention is Kevin Langley. Now, I know Kev because he lives close by and he's part of our Past Players Association, which I deal with. So Kevin Langley, he left us, went to Everton, and I think he went from Everton to yourselves and then Man City, and then he ended up back with us. Who can forget Wilson Palacios?
Indeed.
El Magico. Oh, Emil Eske.
Yep.
Again, he put in one of the best performances I've ever seen in a Wigan Athletic shirt away at Sheffield United. That he played centre half that day, helped keep us up, and he got back in the England side whilst playing with us. So I think we paid you about $3.5 million for him, or was it 6? It might have been 6 million.
I mean, Emil Eske at Birmingham, the season that he was going to sign for us from Liverpool, he comes to St Andrews and he tore us to shreds. He bought himself a contract that particular day, and that was one thing I will never ever forget. And he
was it Steve Bruce who signed him?
Yep.
It's Steve, yeah.
And there it is, that's as good as it gets on this stage. Nissan Townstar EV strikes again. It's an unstoppable van, unstoppable.
Look, just fantastic. You can actually see the Pro Pilot technology in action. Effortless parallel parking.
It moves with all the confidence that comes with a 5-year warranty.
And with a bench full of all-star van experts, there's real strength in depth here.
That's all-star quality.
Search Nissan Townstar EV and visit your local all-star van centre to see for yourself.
Terms and conditions apply. 5 years or 100,000 miles, whichever comes first.
ProPilot is an advanced driver assist technology. Driver's responsibility to stay alert, drive safely, and control vehicle at all times.
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. So we don't just do offers, we do golden offers like this.
MGM Millions, our supersized jackpot where right now you could win over £21 million.
Get ready for the golden era in online casino. BetMGM, it's showtime.
Minimum 10p game stake. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Yeah. Another connection there in Steve Bruce. Jeff Kenner.
Indeed, Jeff Kenner, the legend that
left back. Yeah, he was really good for us as we got promoted from the division we're in now. Have I mentioned Mario Melchior?
You haven't, but yes, another legend from our defensive era.
Super Mario. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And then there's others as well, though, isn't there? You know, like Scott Carson was played in Europe with us as our goalkeeper when we qualified for Europe because we won the FA Cup and we were in the Championship, just like you were in the Championship in Europe after you'd won the League Cup. So
that's it.
Again, another connection between the two clubs, you know. So, I mean, have I mentioned that? I might have mentioned 6.
You did. And I mean, to give you a few others. So, Mark Burchill.
Yeah.
Clubs. Nicky Eden. So, another
what a fullback. Barnsley lad. It comes from Barnsley.
It does indeed. And he owns a beverage house in Barnsley. So, I cannot wait to go to that great and go and visit him. Richard Edgehill was below.
Yeah.
Jeff Horsfield. Again, what a total legend Jeff is, and I should say friend of the show, as is Nicky Eden. So they've both been on with us. You'd already mentioned Jeff and Emil and Mario. Jermaine Pennant was on loan.
Very good with us.
You mentioned as well Stevie Bruce and the link there, obviously from a managerial side, but Alex Bruce also played for both.
Alex, he's lad. Yeah.
A winger that, to me, didn't show his true potential at Birmingham, but he was a great player, but he just didn't get his chance. Was Daniel Derrida, and he was at both clubs. Olivier Capo, indeed. Capo's goal at Chelsea is one that I will still never forget. I've never seen a player strike a ball as well as what he did there. Liam Ridgewell. So another defender was representing both Marcus Bent as a striker, Scott Sinclair, another defender, Stephen Caldwell, and then Jean Beausejour as well represented both clubs.
What a player, both Jean Beausejour.
Marlon King, Dan Burn.
Marlon King.
The list goes on, and There is one that I need to mention because there are others, but he never hit it off with Birmingham, and I always remember him playing one game, having an absolute nightmare in goal, and never played again. Richard Kingston. And Richard Kingston, right?
About 5'4".
Exactly. And not just that, so we run a part of the podcast. We often say to people, name your worst ever Birmingham side. And without fail, he is the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So it's a shame for him.
Yeah.
The other names that are on the list, we've mentioned some of proper old as well there, but Archie Gemmell.
Archie Gemmell, yes. Yeah.
We've got as well Mike Newell, Andy Saville, Stuart Storer, Mark Ward, our midfield maestro when he was at the club. He was there. And then finally, Josh McEachran as well, representing the club. So over the years, we've had some proper swap overs there. So coming into the game then, tell us a little bit about what we can expect from that young and sounds quite frivolous Wigan side, and players that we should look out for. And then finally, at the end of it, what's your prediction for the game?
Well, we play a possession-based game. I don't know if you remember Roberto Martinez. I know he set his teams up. Well, Sean Maloney is a student of the Martinez way, and he plays very similar. And we play a similar type of football. It's very hard to say. I mean, you can't say we play a 3-4-3 or 4-2 whatever, because it just interchanges. We definitely have two centre backs. Right, that's all I can tell you about our defence. The full backs, they're in midfield, they're up the front, they're on the wing. They're all over the place. But when we hit it right, we're an absolute joy. When we don't hit it right is where the problem is. But when we hit it right, we're just a joy to watch. We scored a goal away at Lincoln last season, and it was just unbelievable. It went all the way through the team, from front to back and back up to the front again, and finished with a screamer. And that typified Sean Maloney, how he wants us to play. And I interviewed him in summer, and I said to him, is that the DNA that you talk about, Sean Maloney's DNA? And he said, no, that's the DNA of Wigan Athletic, and that's how I want Wigan Athletic to play football. Possession-based, quick, up the lines. We go up the lines a lot, both. We play with attacking fullbacks and wingers. So it's just fabulous until we lose possession, and then we're in a bit of trouble. Very young side. Very quick. It's got a lot of speedy players in there. He wants us to be aggressive, but to be honest, we're not really that aggressive in our players. When I think about aggressive players, I think about people thundering into challenges and tenacious, and we're not that type. But we do get in your face a little bit to try and put you off, so we will press. Yeah. It's more of a press than an aggression. The start to this season hasn't been the best, but we've had a lot of injuries pre-season to our attacking players. We've had five wide players out injured. Wow. We've had to bring Jordan Jones in, who I've seen that Birmingham City have been linked with. He's only come in on a very short contract. He's been with us for 3 seasons. He's out of contract. We couldn't agree a new contract with him, so he's a free agent. So we brought him in for 3 weeks. So he'll be gone before the end of August. But he's a good player, but he's obviously not fit. So I think that my issue at the moment, we don't look like a team that's fit, and we're not really balanced. If you're looking for star men, Tello Asgard, 22 now, Tello. He's been with us since he was 12. He's a Scottish Norwegian. His mum and dad are Norwegian, but they play in the Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra, and that's why they're over here. So he's tall. He has braids in his hair, and he's very good on the ball. And he hits a fabulous strike from distance. I think he might have played against you in that game you were talking about before when Bakuna scored at our place. I think he was in that. He's been in the first team for the past 3 or 4 years now. He broke in. He's been in and out. He had a big injury last year to his shoulder. He missed over a third of the season and still finished with 10 goals. And he's a midfielder. Yeah, so I've predicted that he's going to get our player of the season, and I'd expect him to be pushing up for 20 goals. But he's already scored. He scored in the League Cup against Barnsley, which we lost that one. But we played Charlton on the opening day of the season, and it looked like both sides weren't ready for the season to begin, if you know what I mean. There was a lot of misplaced passes. They didn't look really fit, both sides, and they both tired badly. I don't think either side deserved to win that, but they ended up with a bit of a poor defensive goal from our point of view. So it was a bad start to the season. We started poorly before and got on to good things. Yeah. We've gone on to win the league when we've lost our first 3 games, So I don't hold much to early season. So we'll see where we are come November time. As for the season itself, I expect us to improve on last season, because obviously we started with -8. We're desperate need of an experienced striker, because we've got 2 young lads. Josh Stone, he's 19. We've got Joe Ugill in from Man United on loan, and he's 20. And he's had a spell at the back end of last season at Burton, and that's it for him. Josh Stone, we sent him out on loan to Oldham last season, and he got injured and he had to have an operation. He's good though. He's a big burly centre forward. You'll like him. But they need a bit of experience with them. And we've lost Charlie White, Josh McGuinness, Stephen Humphreys in the summer. So our 3 main strikers have all gone, and there's nobody there to guide them. So it worries me a little bit that we've got 50-odd games with 2 young strikers. I'm just hoping that before the window shuts, we bring somebody in. We've lost our star guy, Charlie Hughes, so there should be a bit of money coming in from that deal. He's gone off to Hull City. 7-8 million quid. So, but the owners have said that money's not going into the team. It'll go to the club to run the club. But there might be a little bit to bring in somebody else.
Always wiggle room, despite what they say.
There is. Well, we hope so. So
what's your prediction for the game at St Andrews at Knighthead Park then? So I mentioned there'll be a big crowd, but what's your thoughts?
Right. Well, I might disappoint you here, because a lot of people are back in Birmingham to go straight up, and you've signed all the big players, and you have Alfie Mays. What a player he is at this level. I've seen him tear teams apart on his own. But I've also seen Sheffield United, I've seen Sheffield Wednesday, I've seen Sunderland, I've seen Ipswich try it. And because you mentioned about the big crowds, and they all get big gates, and when they don't win, the crowd can turn, and that puts a hell of a lot of pressure. So I've tipped Birmingham not to go up. So I think I might be the only man in the country. But my reasoning behind it is that if you don't hit the ground running and the crowd get restless, because I know at our place with like 12,000 on, it can affect the players when things don't go right. So with that in mind, I think we'll play a very cagey game when we come. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. That's what I'm going for.
And it's interesting, I will say, yes, you're right. So many people have said Birmingham going to walk the league. I've seen people going, give them the position now. There's nobody to touch them or anything else. I'm a realist, and at the end of the day, we saw it in the first game. Teams are going to come at us and want to beat us. They'll go that extra level. It's almost like an FA Cup game to some teams. So it's going to be tough. And I don't, yes, I've had money on them winning the league. I think every fan normally backs their club to do it.
Yes.
So I've done that. But it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be the walk in the park that some people think. And it's going to be very tough going. When we play you guys, we will have had, an opportunity for the team to gel. The first game we saw, we actually had a midfield partnership that hadn't started together across any of the pre-season. There were changes in the League Cup as well, but the key thing was Leonard, who is going to be our key midfielder now, started both games and really started to shine through. He's got an eye for a pass. He's not afraid to go
player,
and he puts the foot in. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to go for a tight game. I believe we'll concede. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Birmingham, but it will be tough. And I don't expect any team to come to St Andrews and roll over. It's just not going to happen. So, here's to a good game. Looking forward to it, as always. And like I say, plenty of change up at St Andrews. For the fans that are coming down, enjoy the day. It's going to be a bit of an eye-opener for everybody, including our own fans on that particular day, to see some of the other changes that have taken place during the couple of weeks between our last game. So it's really going to be good. Looking forward to it. Are you coming to St Andrews?
I'm hoping to be, yeah. I'm hoping to be coming down, yeah. So the first trip since 1978 down to your place.
Well, you see,
the gap changed.
You'll enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, hey, you can go into the bar now and get a drink without any problems. That never used to happen. And he's decent beer as well. That makes it even better. But no, looking forward to it. It's going to be a great game. Thank you again for joining us, Barry. It's really appreciated. Getting anybody onto the away end is a privilege, and thank you. We'll do this again when we play at your place. See how things are going, because it will be a reversal. We will know roughly where we think teams will end up. Here's to a good game coming up at St Andrews, and keep right on. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, Craig, and best of luck for the season.
Cheers.
And there it is, that's as good as it gets on this stage. Nissan Townstar EV strikes again. It's an unstoppable van, unstoppable.
Just fantastic. You can actually see the Pro Pilot technology in action. Effortless parallel parking.
It moves with all the confidence that comes with a 5-year warranty.
And with a bench full of all-star van experts, there's real strength in depth here.
That's all-star quality.
Search Nissan Townstar EV and visit your local all-star van centre to see for yourself.
Terms and conditions apply. 5 years or 100,000 miles, whichever comes first.
Pro Pilot is an advanced driver assist technology. Driver's responsibility to stay alert, drive safely, and control vehicle at all times.
You've got enough on your plate. Mundane meals shouldn't be one of them. Get an endless variety of the freshest, best-tasting food from award-winning chefs delivered to your door with Cook Unity, all at a fraction of the cost and time you're spending now. Take a load off and leave your meal prep to Cook Unity. Affordable food crafted by award-winning chefs delivered straight to your door. Go to cookunity.com/podcast or enter code podcast before checkout for 50% off your first week.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.